Good morning everyone and welcome to the video guide to G2 from Chigwell School Classics Department. We'll start with a quick look at all the sections. So the first section is about technical terms, nouns and verbs, the accusative and nominative cases, subject and object of sentences, that kind of stuff. Second section is about the endings of the cases, the nominative and accusative singular, and the third section, question 4 here, is putting it all together to see if you can work out how Latin expresses these two sentences, how you can tell the difference in Latin. Now for the first section, the first two questions here, you have to know some stuff, and if we look on the left hand side over here, this is a copy of what's in the back of your Stage 2 language booklet with some answers put in for you. Okay, that looks a bit weird. It's worth knowing, but it's easier if you have a look at this, which is a guy, a sort of funny purple bloke kicking a football. And the idea here is that it's all about two nouns in a sentence. A bloke kicking a ball, a bird eating a frog eating a fly, a guy punching a wall, that kind of thing, or a wall falling on a bloke. And the two nouns in each of those subjects are very clearly differentiated in Latin. You've got the subject, which is whatever's doing it. So here it's the bloke is the subject, and the ball is the thing that's being kicked, having the action done to it, and that's the object. So you've got the subject-object distinction, really important in grammar, in English and other languages, Latin particularly. So the blackbird eating the frog, the blackbird's the subject and the frog is the object, because the blackbird is eating the frog. Now in Latin you've got two different cases or endings which the language uses to express these two things. So the subject is always in what we call the nominative case, that's an ending called the nominative. And the object, the thing that's being kicked or eaten or fallen on or whatever, is always in the accusative case, so it has an accusative ending. Now, so far in Latin, it's quite easy to tell these two apart, because the accusative case always has an M on the end, and you see the victim there, that helps you, the M on the end of the victim. And the nominative case doesn't have an M on the end, has something else, it can be anything at all. But you see how a wise deity has providentially given us the word nominative with no M at the start of it, just to make it easy for you to remember which way round it is. So the subject is the doer and is in the nominative case and doesn't have an M on the end. The thing having something done to it is called the object, is in the accusative case and does have an M on the end. Quite a lot to pick up, but it's just two rows of a table. It's not impossible to remember, I think. So just going back to the test itself and the canvas I've got here, we've got the first two questions here, a little copy of that diagram down the bottom here. So let's zoom in and look at it. Right, what kind of nouns have cases? Is it nouns or verbs? Well, we know now it's all about nouns or things, so we just circle that. Every test has the same question one, which is that one, and the answer is always nouns. Okay. Now, trickier. Question 2. Is this sentence true or false? The nominative case is used to show the subject of a sentence. Let's go and have a look. In a little small version of the diagram, here it is. So the nominative case is used to show the subject of a sentence. That's true. Okay, because the object, the thing having something done to it, is expressed by the accusative case. So the nominative is used to show the subject. So we can answer those two questions, nouns and true. Hope that's clear. Question 3 is a lot easier. It gets a lot easier now. We've got to work out which ones of these nouns are nominative and which ones are accusative. Now, you may remember over here we've got a nice rule that the accusative has an M on the end and the nominative doesn't, no M. So now this is, I hope, really straightforward. We look for the ones with M on the end, there's one, there's one, there's one, and there's one, and we write those in the accusative column because they've got the M on the end. It's quite important to get this the right way around. Well, it's very important because if you don't, you won't pass the test. And the others ending in anything that isn't an M, in my appalling writing, with this funny stylus thing, go over here. There we go. We've got that right. And finally, the last section. Let's zoom into this. Now here we have to remember what's going on over here. That the one with the M on the end, this one, is what's having something done to it. Right? So we can apply that over here. So in this sentence here, who's being greeted? Who's having the greeting done to them? It's Metella. So she has to have the M on the end in Latin for that to mean that. So let's find the M's. There's one with Metellam, and there's one, and there's one. You see, each of these three has the M on the end of Metella. There it is, there it is. So in each one of those three, Caecilius is greeting her. So the others must be the other. So here, in this one, Caecilius ought to have the M on the end, and in fact, if we look across, we see, I'll just join these up first. There we are, we see in these three, the green ones there, Caecilium, Caecilium, and Caecilium. So it's not the word order. You can jump it up as much as you like. It's the M's on the end that give that away. Good, we've passed G2. Well done, everybody. Good luck with your next test.